What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Brain Waves, here to give you the updates, here to give you the exclusives, here to give you the straight down the middle, non-biased, detailed information about what's going on. And in this particular time, in this particular case, we're talking about the Diddy update. Now, I went live earlier to talk about what was going on, about the 5 charges. And so now we have the update. The judge has made a decision. Here's where we are. And what we're going to listen to is Diddy's lawyer reacting to what the judge said in terms of denying Diddy bail. Now, make no mistake, this doesn't mean that Diddy is automatically going to serve time outside of the judge denying his bail. You see, he's already, quote unquote, been serving time. This just means between now and until the jurors can make a decision and they can work everything out and make sure he's not a flight risk, he's serving time that way. But in terms of people thinking that he's going to be serving some long jail sentence, no, that's not going to happen. You see, the 2 major charges that took place ruled that out. All right. So the maximum time at best that we could look at is possibly 10 years. Diddy's not going to serve 10 years. And because now that the judge denied bail, most likely that's going to play into time served. Now, what we're going to stop and do first is take a look here at the actual report of him being denied bail. And then what we're going to do is we're going to listen to not only Diddy's lawyer speak, but we're going to listen to his family's reaction, at least prior to all of this, right? And then we're also going to hear from Cassie's lawyer. Cassie's lawyer will be speaking on her behalf. That's Cassie Ventura. And then when we get done with this particular live, we're going to double back and go live because there's been some more updates as it relates to the Diddy trial. So let's go ahead and get this going. Make sure you double tap the screen when you come in. Shout out to all the new people in the building, and I greatly appreciate it. Let go.
He has now denied bail for Diddy. So bail is denied for Sean Combs. I want to bring in Misty Maris, our legal analyst. I want to bring back in Rahima Ellis. Rahima, what happened? Because I think as of about 6 minutes ago, the judge wasn't even in the room. This happened really quickly.
It happened very quickly, Hallie. The judge had sat down at the bench, and he wasted no time talking about, I'm going to read this because it's important. The government notes that the appropriate provision that makes detention the appropriate remedy. The defendant must prove he poses no risk of flight or danger to anyone in the community. The Second Circuit has made clear that there are situations that are out of the ordinary and which noted that the circumstances are personal, do not warrant a release. For that reason, the government submission there is the court disagrees with the defense and does not trigger mandatory. There is no ambiguity to the rule in the defense favor. If the defendant was able to say that he is not a danger to the community, he could not meet that burden. Once again, took him no time to do this.
A minute.
He has denied bail. A minute, Hallie. I was looking to see, because, you know, things are coming very quickly, what the reaction would be from, there's a large crowd that is gathered across the street. They put up extra barricades. They brought out extra police in anticipation that Sean Diddy Combs would be walking out of that front door of the courthouse. That is not going to happen. He is going to be sent back to detention in Brooklyn, where he has been since September, 9 months already, and it's going to be a little while longer.
We thank you for watching.
And basically, that little while longer is essentially going to be roughly 3 months because he's going back and it looks like everything has been postponed until October. OK, so, you know, we got August, September, and then essentially October. If he served 9 months, this will be the 3 more months. Do y'all see how this is a setup on the play? This will be 3 more months. He most likely might get 2 years. That'll get reduced. He served 1 year to be time served, maybe plus probation, whatever. And most likely he's going to walk, because whether he walks then or he walks a couple of years from now, Diddy's walking. He got off on the major charges that would have put him away. But let's go ahead and pull up the video from the attorney. And this is Diddy's attorney speaking. Okay. I'm going to get you some reactions and everything. But nonetheless, let's listen to Sean Diddy Combs, or the Diddler, or whatever you want to call him, his lawyer, speak. Let's go.
All right. Thank you all for being patient. Am I speaking loud enough? You all can hear me okay? All right. Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury. So today is a great day. Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs and our legal team. And I want to say one thing. There are very few people around whom our legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it. And I am now done speaking to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Garagos.
All right, I first want to thank my client, Sean Combs, for trusting us, myself and everybody here, this incredible dream team that he put together. Without him, we would not have been able to do this. He is incredible, and I want to thank him. I want to thank the jury for putting such great care into this case. They came early every single day, and I want to thank them, as I said in my opening, standing between all of us and the drastic consequences of the criminal convictions of sex trafficking. And RICO is a jury of our peers, and I thank them. I want to thank the judge, and I want to thank, despite the terrible conditions at the MDC, I want to thank the good people who worked there, who ensured that we had sufficient amount of time to prepare for trial. It is extremely difficult to prepare for a federal case in the conditions at the MDC, and they did everything they could to make that happen. I want to thank them. I also have been saying this since the beginning of this case. Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. I've been saying this for months. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true. The media got it wrong about Sean Combs every single day for nearly 2 years. I ask that for every time you guys see a civil lawsuit, criminal complaints or criminal indictments, you actually take a look and analyze these and see whether or not these are actually going to stand up in a court of law, because today they did not. He has not sexually assaulted anybody, certainly hasn't sex trafficked anybody, and the jury found that today. Thank you. I am now going to pass this over to Mr. Steele.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen to my right and my left. There is not a better group of honest and ethical, hardworking, and zealous lawyers, and I especially wish to thank Mark and Tenny for allowing me and everyone else to come together. On behalf of my family, myself, I wish to thank you all for being here and writing truthfully about a man wrongly charged with most of the crimes, and that we all must remember that allegations are nothing. And I'd like to thank Sean for letting me be here. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thankfully, in our country, we have a right to a jury trial. And thankfully, Mr. Combs took that right. He actually battled for his freedom, for his innocence. He did it. And a lot of times, people are too afraid to do it. And he did it, and we're so happy that he did. We're proud of him. We are completely honored that he put his faith and his trust in us to fight for him. Today is a major win to show what the system can do. We appreciate and we're so thankful to the jury. Thank you to the court. Thank you, New York. It's been a pleasure being here and fighting in your district. Thank you so much. And listen, we appreciate the media. We do. There was a lot of reporting on the accusations. There was a lot of reporting on the indictment. Please report just as vigorously on the acquittal of these counts, please, because that's also the right thing to do. Thank you.
Now, I want to say something about that because she has a point. You see, there's a lot of content creators in particular. Oh, I've just opened up the can, but that's what I do on my channel, right? I get you to think. I get people to think. There's a lot of content creators who have been working with certain particular people out here, the government, what have you, and they've been trying to bring a certain scenario against Diddy. Well, let me just paint a picture for y'all, something maybe y'all haven't considered. Has anyone remembered that there were a lot of people that were associated with these freak-offs? And that there were a lot of people they were trying to bring in? And that a particular scenario could be that if Diddy gets off completely, right? Because yes, he has the so-called guilty verdicts or what have you, but those verdicts have no minimum sentence. This is what we got to remember. I spoke on this earlier today. There's no minimum sentence to these guilty verdicts. The big charges, all of those, he was found not guilty. The big charges would have put him away for life. And this is what many people think. Diddy's going to be locked up. That's it. He's gone. He's done. So the little charges that are left have no minimum sentence. So what does that mean? That means that legally, there is no set standard on how this could play out, what actually could happen, and that leaves a ton of room for negotiation. Now, there was a lot of content creators that have big platforms here on YouTube, and they put out misinformation. They were trying to sway a narrative. They were trying to make you think that he was guilty on this, guilty on that. And it's not, here's what we got to make clear. We're not saying that Diddy didn't engage in certain activities or do certain things. Just like his lawyer said back with the whole Cassie situation. We seen the video in the hallway of the hotel. We know what's going on. He admitted to it. They admitted to it. Nobody's saying that Diddy did not engage in certain things. However, this is what y'all got to understand. There is no law against a freak off. There is no law, whether it's morally wrong, biblically wrong, ethically wrong. There is no legal law saying you can't engage in a freak off. There's people engaging in threesomes right now, sneaky links, side pieces, orgies, they cheating, creeping, parties, what have you. People they got swinger clubs. They got all types of stuff going on. There is no law saying you can't engage in a freak off. Now, the things that they were trying to actually get him on was weak. And we talked about that earlier. So what we have to understand now, and what I want to see these big content creators do, don't try to act like you cool with Diddy when you was throwing Diddy under the bus. You got some content creators that was interviewing people, trying to interview celebrities and try to create this narrative that you good people were watching and that you good people get swayed by because they had a vested interest in taking Diddy down. Now, let me break something down. Here's the scenario that you got to look at. A lot of people like, it's not right. It's not right. It looks like Diddy's getting off. He's not going to really go through anything as far as like a full sentence that's going to take him completely out. Check this out. You all know that any and everybody was at these freak offs. Politicians was there. Other celebrities was there. A lot of people was there. And what we got to actually keep in mind is that if Diddy actually can just walk either with just probation or nothing come October 3rd or what have you, unless they negotiate something sooner, I don't know how they're going to work. They could work something out sooner for all we know. But let's just say at October 3rd, Diddy gets off, right? He's able to go home, do whatever. That means that Diddy essentially has actually served double jeopardy. Which means that if Diddy is served double jeopardy, nobody can be like, well, we're going to throw Diddy under the bus. Think about it. He's pretty much immune. Like, what would a celebrity or a politician or somebody try to say, we're going to expose that you had freak offs, or we're going to expose you did that? He's already been through the system. He's been through the court of public opinion, which is with us as well. So all of that's done, right? That means that Diddy could leak information. He could expose anybody. He could come after anybody who set him up, meaning other celebrities. Okay, this is what I want you to understand. There's been rumors with Jay-Z, there's rumors with Beyonce, rumors with so many celebrities. We all know. So guess what? There is nobody could blackmail Diddy at that point. What are they going to do? Like, we're going to expose that you use baby oil or you so-called use quote unquote drugs, or you did, like, what are they going to do? Because he's done. He's been through the legal system. He's done. They could allow him to get out to go ahead and clean house. And see, people are not looking at a potential big picture here. See, I've been saying this a long time. 2025 is the year to shake up, break up, wake up, make up. We're being shooken up, where things are breaking up, people are waking up, and situations are making up, as well as lies that are being made up. That's what 2025 is about. Cat Williams said that 2024 was the year of exposure. So folks is getting exposed. Folks are still getting exposed. I said that this year is to shake up, break up, wake up, make up. I'm the one who coined that term. And that's what we're seeing. If Diddy gets out, then he's able to shake up, break up, like expose a whole lot of things. And what we're seeing is a lot of things coming down the pipeline. If Diddy, let me make this clear. Now, let's say the scenario is Diddy does not get out. And he's already passed the term of them throwing a book at him where he would just stay behind bars for life. At best, we could probably say a maximum sentence of 10 years at best. Because remember, these 3 charges, there's nothing that has any type of stipulations upon them or anything attached. There's no mandatory sentence, and it's none of that, right? So that whole scenario of Diddy going away and then not quote unquote snitching or not quote unquote exposing everybody in the industry and all types of people about what's going on, that wouldn't be a scenario if he was locked up for good. But see, now he's not going to be locked up for good. So whether he gets out in 3 months, he gets out in 3 years, when he's out, he could tell all. He really doesn't have anything to lose. So that's the scenario that I want y'all to think about and play into. Then all of a sudden, hey, did you hear about this celebrity? Hey, did you hear about that? Because y'all remember in the beginning, we was hearing about all these celebrities being involved. How come all of a sudden it got quiet and hushed with all these celebrities involved? And how come all of these so-called celebrities and famous individuals that we know, we heard from Smokey Robinson, the TD Jakes thing been died out because that's a whole nother situation. But y'all get what I'm going here. All these celebrities named, the list of celebrities that we broke down. How come it's quiet? How come those people are quiet? You don't hear nothing out of their camp because they staying quiet. Because they hoping that Diddy would have got caught, took the fall, Diddy would have been the fall guy, and then they would have been off scot-free. Instead, Diddy's getting out. So that means that trouble is brewing for them. And we're going to see a lot more coming. Now, let's continue to play the attorney, but that's a scenario that I want some of y'all to actually think about, that it doesn't make sense. Why did Diddy get out? Listen, there's a method to every particular madness. Let's go.
Good afternoon. So, first of all, I want to thank this wonderful team behind me. I am so happy that they allowed me to join it. I would like to say that I've done a lot of trials, but this is probably the most special one to me. And most important, I want everyone to know the job is not done yet. We're not finished. The job is not done yet. And so I want to, again, thank Mark, Tenny, and the rest of these wonderful lawyers behind us. They did a fantastic job. And like those before me have said, our system, the jury system, is important. We need good people to serve on juries. We need good people to come and say a person is not guilty. Take that courage to do that. It's okay. We want you to serve on juries. This particular jury was a special jury. It was fantastic. It listened. It paid attention. It put the nonsense to the side, it put the distraction to the side, and came to a lawfully good, just conclusion. Juries are important. Juries are important. But more important than that, I think, is people wanting to be on juries. So for all of you all listening, for all you out there in the public, please accept the call, become a juror, and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
And to respond to him, I was just recently last year a foreman on a real big trial. A real big trial. It was publicized regarding a lieutenant, a police lieutenant, and a police chief. I actually work in public safety. So go figure. Think about how I felt when I was like, oh, I'm sure they're going to dismiss me as a juror. I'm sure they're not going to pick me once they find out I work for law enforcement. They're going to be like, yeah, Brainwaves, he's out. Nah, they had me on the case. That was crazy. And I was the foreman. And we had to look, that lieutenant was guilty and all of that. So I know what this is like. And it was a real, we was in there for hours and hours and hours deliberating. You had a couple of jurors that just could not make a decision. It was just not evidence. Listen, y'all, I don't know if y'all been on a trial, and I don't know if y'all actually been a juror in these situations. But when you were a juror on these trials, it's a whole different ball game than for us just watching it from the outside. It be stuff that be presented or lack thereof, and you be like, man, based upon what's presented, I don't know. Either you can't make a decision, or it's clear, or it's not clear. And the whole point of going to court with charges is that it has to be beyond reasonable doubt. Y'all got to remember, if there is doubt, if there is reasonable doubt, then you can't clearly say that that's the case. And that is what the arguments is all about when it comes to the law. Now, again, we're not talking about what's morally right, ethically right, biblically right, or anything like that, or personal opinions. We're just literally talking about the law. So that's something that has to really be argued beyond proof. And just the stuff that's been presented, it might look one way, but again, it wasn't presented that way. And there wasn't enough evidence that way to make those things stick. So that's why he got off on those charges. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all.
It is such a privilege to be a part of this legal team, this amazing legal team, and to represent Sean Combs. And this is a reminder to everyone, I hope, about the flaws in the criminal justice system, and for everyone to take a second look when the government charges people with crimes, and especially when the Southern District of New York does here. And so I hope everyone takes that seriously. And we take this as an enormous victory and win. This is a huge win. He was acquitted of sex trafficking, acquitted of RICO conspiracy, and he will be able to sleep well at night knowing that.
And just so y'all know, just as a reminder, the RICO conspiracy, that's when the feds raided his home, got all the evidence, all that stuff. You would have thought if there was anything that I would have thought that would have nailed Diddy, quote unquote, to the cross, it would have been the RICO charges. I like, man, they raided that man's house, got his computers, got all this stuff. The way it was looking, it looked like Diddy was done. But it wasn't enough to stick. So if there wasn't enough to stick with the RICO charges, what would make us think that all this other stuff would stick? When we know that with the Diddy, when it came to the Diddy parties, the freak-offs, right? We know he recorded the parties. We know all this information now. So if he's supposed to have all this evidence on tape, and the feds came and got all these videos. Remember in the beginning when we found out, man, Diddy getting raided, his crib got raided, both cribs actually got raided, and they got all this evidence. We was like, oh, Diddy's cooked. He's done. But look at what's playing out now. And I know a lot of people mad, boy. A lot of people mad. A lot of people mad, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
To everyone. I appreciate you.
Well, I want to start just by thanking my family and the families of each of the lawyers here for giving us the space and the time to serve Sean and to fight for Sean. I want to thank the court for giving us a fair fight. And you see what happens when you have a good defense team come together. in front of a court that gives the defense team a fair fight. And finally, I just want to thank Sean for giving me the honor and the privilege of serving him. Thank you.
I feel like there's not a lot more that I can say because of these wonderful people have really said all there is to say, but I do want to thank Sean for the privilege of this opportunity to help him clear his name. After all, with the Southern District coming after him, guns blazing, it really is a testament to the fact that when you get a fair trial and a jury of your peers listens to the evidence, they will do the right thing. And I just want to say again how proud I am to be part of this team and to have helped Sean get a just verdict.
Are you more for deals a minute? Guys, can anyone share what Mr. Combs wanted to say in court when he raised his hand during the bail hearing?
No.
You know what I hate, y'all? I hate that when we watching these videos, and I know it's not their fault. I hate how we can't really hear the volume of the people talking in the background, any reporters or whoever it is talking, and even their conversations. But it is what it is.
So I'm not going to talk about the bail decision because it's still a pending unresolved matter. And I don't think we're going to take any more questions. I want to thank you all. You guys have been so diligent and dedicated. I pass you guys in the rain. I walk by you in the sun, and you're all out here every day. I just want to thank you. But I don't think we're going to take any questions.
Can you take us through the ups and downs of the day, though? Because Mr. Combs got acquittal of the major charges. Maybe thought he could go home tonight, and then was told he couldn't.
So a lot of these things are still in process. I mean, the one thing I'm going to leave you with this. We are not nearly done fighting. We are just getting started. To win this and to defeat the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York takes effort from beginning to end. Today was a major step in the right direction, but we fight on and we're going to win, and we're not going to stop until he walks out of prison a free man to his family. Thank you all for coming.
Man, that's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. So what I want to do now is I want to also play the reaction, since we saw the reaction, and this was Diddy's attorneys. This was his whole lawyer squad, his lawyer team. What I want to do is I want to play a reaction, ironically, that Diddy said prior to the judge coming through saying that his bail was denied. Let's listen to what his reaction was.
Bit of a commotion outside the courthouse. Sean Combs' mother just returned here. She walked in just a second ago, said she is feeling good because her son was acquitted of the most serious charges that he faced: sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, both of which could have sent him to prison for life. He was convicted, though, of transportation to engage in prostitution, and that charge could put him in prison for up to 20 years, although it's not expected he would get that much time. What we're waiting for now is the judge to decide whether Combs can be released on bail while he awaits his sentencing. He offered to put up $1 million. He put up his homes in Miami and Los Angeles. They're certainly opulent. The jury, the judge, everybody saw pictures of them. And the judge said he would convene a hearing later this afternoon to determine if Combs should be released. He seemed confident, telling his family after the verdict was read, "I'm coming home, baby." And we caught up with one of his sons just a moment ago. His family after the verdict was read, "I'm coming home, baby." And we caught his family after the verdict was read, "I'm coming home, baby." And we caught up with one of his sons just a moment ago. He certainly seemed to believe also, Diane, that his father would be released on bail.
Now, we just heard what Diddy said, right? Now what we're going to look at is what his actual son said, because we just heard what was said in that particular story that Diddy said, "I'm coming home, baby. I'm coming home." Now we're going to actually look at what his son actually said, right? Let's go ahead and do that, because I'm telling you, man, this whole situation is just wild. It's wild, man. The whole thing is wild. Oh, did I get my... Here we go. Let's go. My bad.
And after nearly a 2-month trial with 34 witnesses and hours of salacious testimony, a jury of 8 men and 4 women finds Sean Diddy Combs not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The judge is currently deciding right now whether Combs will actually be released today. His defense arguing that since the music mogul was acquitted of the most serious crimes, he should be able to go home. Once court was adjourned, family members cheered today's verdict. Combs' son, Christian, telling ABC News how happy he is.
Hey, yo, we love y'all. We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
What was going through your head when the verdict was read? Happy.
Let me clarify this because just in case there's a misunderstanding, shout out to everybody that's here in the building. Shout out to all the new people that don't know who I am and you came through. I appreciate you. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. Thank you for watching me, stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you hit the subscribe button, if you double tap the screen, I would even be humbled even more. Thank y'all so much. I just got to tell y'all, I appreciate y'all. Let me answer this question because if Fight Central, shout out to Fight Central, has this question, there are probably others. Fight Central saying, wait, what? He's free? So what we're looking at, if you just joined, I showed just previously Diddy's lawyer squad talking about the judge denying bail. This particular video here is what we saw, and what I played right before it was Diddy's statement when he got off on the other charges that would have put him away for life. That's when he actually said, hey, I'm coming home, baby. I'm coming home. I wanted to include that reaction because I don't know if a lot of people are showing you Diddy's reaction. And as it stands, that's the only thing we have as of right now of Diddy's reaction. Now, if he issues a statement or do anything, obviously I'm going to go live and update you all about that. So what we're looking at now is Diddy's his children. We're looking at what his son actually primarily spoke. I don't know if his daughter's going to speak in this video, but that's what we're looking at, their reaction. And these are the reactions to the charges, the big ones that got dropped. So that way he won't actually have the big sentence. So whether he comes home sometime before October the 3rd, because for those of you just now joining, the judge denied bail and he has his updated hearing on October the 3rd. So whether they work out something between now and October the 3rd comes, maybe he got to serve a couple of years, maybe he don't, maybe he get off on time served or whatever. Either way, he's coming home because the big charges that would have kept him serving for life, he's off on that. So let's continue.
Joining me now, Irina Roy, just outside court, legal contributor Bernardo Villalona, and also senior entertainment reporter Kelly Carter. All right, Rena, do we have any update on whether the judge will decide to release Combs at this hour?
Kira, no decision quite yet from the judge. Just a couple of minutes ago, though, I can tell you we saw the Combs family van pull up to court once again, presumably to hear this decision on whether or not Combs will be released. The deadline that the judge gave both the prosecution and the defense just passed a couple of minutes ago. They were set to turn in their letters at 1 p.m. So for the last couple of hours, they've been working on their cases, both sides, for and against his release. The defense wants to see Combs walk out of those golden doors here behind us. They say that because he was acquitted of the more serious charges here, that he should go home and be with his family. The prosecutors have argued that he's a flight risk, and they say that he is still facing up to 20 years in prison on these lesser charges. They are arguing he should be held until his sentencing, Kira.
See, this is the big thing. They said he's still facing up to 20 years, right? Even though he's facing up to 20 years, I seriously doubt that he's going to actually get 20 years. Because if they were trying to actually throw the book at him, he would have actually been found guilty on those other charges. And what y'all have to remember is the other 2 charges, those was the big heavyweight charges. Those was the big ones. Those are the ones that were supposed to just do him in. So if he got off on those charges, These other 3 lesser charges, though he could get up to 20 years, he's not going to face the maximum sentence. He's not. It's just not going to happen. I've seen these things too many times. I know you all have seen these things. It's just not going to happen. He's most likely going to be getting out. Time served, some agreement, some probation, maybe some stipulations. It's going to be something, but he's going to be getting off. This is crazy, man. Yeah, Baylock says, I agree. This is how it is. Let's continue to listen to this. We got to hear from Cassie. See, what I want y'all to hear is what Cassie has said. And everything that I'm showing you all, this is the most latest up-to-date statements from everybody. We heard from Diddy's lawyers. We've heard from what Diddy actually reacted to. We haven't heard Diddy's reaction because there isn't anything as of yet that Diddy's put out regarding the judge denying him bail. But we heard his reaction prior to that. We also heard, and we're listening to right now, what his kids are reacting, and we're still going through this particular live. After that, we're going to listen to Cassie's attorneys issue a statement on Diddy getting off on the big charges and what that means. Let's go.
So, Bernarda, if Combs does stay in custody, how much jail time do you expect he would actually serve?
So in terms of if the judge does decide that Sean Combs remains in custody pending sentencing, the judge will ultimately determine what his sentence is. You have to think that the sentencing is not going to take place in another week or 2. We're talking about months from now that the sentence will take place. And in terms of all the time that he's already been in custody, he's going to get credit for that time. So no matter what amount of sentence the judge sentences him to, he'll get credit for about the 9 months that he has been in custody.
And it's going to be a year by the time we get to the October 3rd hearing. So he will have a year. This is what I was saying. He's already getting credit for serving time. So they'll be like, well, he's already been in jail. They're going to ask, did he get into any fights? Did any situation happen in jail? As it currently stands, the answer to that is no. I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. Maybe some people going to try to start something to set Diddy up. I mean, people be doing all types of stuff. But I'm sure he know what time it is. I'm sure they know what time it is. But nonetheless, he's going to get credit for this. He's got good behavior. He's got no priors, all of this stuff. So all of this is going to look good in terms of his lawyer squad arguing for his defense.
Yes, he faces a maximum of 10 years on each of those counts. Highly unlikely that this judge is going to max Sean Combs out. He can give him probation, he could give him time served, or give him something more of a year, 2 years, or even 3 years on each of these counts.
So, Kelly, how does this verdict impact Combs' legacy as an entertainer, as a music mogul moving forward, do you think?
I think it does impact his legacy because we have to talk about this in addition to talking about his 3 decades as being a pop culture icon. This is a human who has touched every facet of business, of industry, politics, film, TV, music, Broadway, spirits, fashion, but we also now have to talk about this case and the role that plays and that legacy. And I think it's significant because unfortunately people are going to be able to unhear some of that testimony that they read, and they're most certainly going to be able to unsee that video footage from that 2016 Intercontinental incident between him and Cassie Ventura. And I think that that's going to be part of the conversation moving forward.
And Rena, has there been any reaction from prosecutors or witnesses so far on the verdict?
Yeah, well, Kira, prosecutors say that they are going to fight for substantial prison time for Sean Combs. It remains to be seen what that looks like, but they did release a statement earlier today thanking the alleged victims in this case for coming forward, saying it's not easy to share those harrowing stories. And we know that the prosecution's star witness was Cassie Ventura, Combs' ex-girlfriend. Her attorney spoke outside of court shortly after the verdict, and he says that he's proud of her courage. He says that she is in a good place and she's happy with this outcome. Take a listen.
The reaction is that we're pleased that he's finally been held responsible for 2 federal crimes, something that he's never faced in his life. He still faces substantial jail time. Of course, we would have liked to have seen a conviction on the sex crimes in RICO, but we understand beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard, and we're just pleased that that he still faces substantial jail time.
And he also credits her for paving the way for other alleged victims to come forward. Remember, Combs is still facing more than 6 civil lawsuits, so his legal troubles are far from over, Kira.
Yeah. And we'll be following him as well, of course. Bernarda, what impact do you think this verdict will have now on future cases similar to Combs?
So in terms of what impact this verdict will have on future cases, I think the prosecution has to rethink how it applies racketeering conspiracy, because first off, when racketeering RICO came out, it was more for mob bosses or gang activity to try to get an enterprise, hold them accountable and not let individuals get off simply because they're not being taken into account with co-conspirators or using their businesses in order to uplift their enterprise, their criminal enterprise. But I think the prosecution is definitely going to take another look of how it's being applied, racketeering conspiracy.
All right, Rena, Bernarda, Kelly, thank you all so much. And tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, ABC will release a 1-hour special.
All right, so I guess y'all see this 1-hour special, which is actually probably going to be coming on in 12 minutes. What I want to switch to now is we're going to listen to Cassie. Okay, we got to listen to Cassie. We got to get Cassie's lawyers getting a statement from her. Okay, let's see what Cassie actually had to say about Diddy getting off on the 2 major charges.
And now I understand, Aaron, a statement has been given on behalf of Cassie Ventura, star witness in this case. What are you learning?
Her attorney, Doug Wigdor, just sent us the following statement. This entire criminal process started when our client, Cassie Ventura, had the courage to file her civil complaint in November 2023. And Kira, we should say that's true. The criminal investigation is largely based on the statements in Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, and intensified, of course, once video from the 2016 hotel security camera became public. The statement from Doug Wigdor, her attorney, goes on to say, although the jury did not find Combs guilty of sex trafficking Cassie beyond a reasonable doubt, she paved the way for a jury to find him guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution. By coming forward with her experience, Cassie's attorney, Doug Wigdor, goes on to say, Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice. We must repeat with no reservation that we believe and support our client, who showed exemplary courage throughout this trial. She testified for 4 days, often quite emotionally so, giving graphic, explicit detail of what she said she was made to do. And Sean Combs did not deny the facts of the freak-offs. Everything that happened in those hotel rooms did not get challenged by the defense.
That's what I want y'all to understand. There's a lot of people, and I'm not just saying here on my particular platform, I'm talking about there's a lot of people, period. It's like, but Diddy, he engaged in the freak-offs. They was engaging in that. This went down and that went down. This is what I've been trying to tell you. There has been no denying of that on Diddy's part. A lot of the things that we're saying, but didn't Diddy do this and didn't he do that? Did he do it? Remember all the jokes? He didn't deny it. He did not deny it. This is literally on court record. He did not deny those things. You would think if he admitted to that, that should just mean he's automatically guilty, right? Listen, the legal system does not work like that. Morally speaking, yes, you could say that. Biblically speaking, according to what the Bible says in scripture, you can say that, yes. The court of public opinion, you could say that as well. But when it comes to the laws of the land, I'm telling y'all, the laws of the land work different, okay? Even in the world of business, I have a business degree and marketing degree. I went to college for this. I'm a college grad for this. What a lot of people believe morally does not apply to business. For example, if something is wrong morally, you will say that's wrong for individuals to do that. It's perfectly ethical and legal and morally correct in the world of business. So we're just talking about business and morals, or business and biblical. Now going to the legal system, and now you add another layer on top of that, right? Y'all add a whole nother layer on top of that. I'm telling you, this stuff is crazy. And so this is why it's like, man, this ain't right. This ain't right. The legal system is a beast. And this is generally why we have to have lawyers or people that's familiar with the law. Like I said, I work in public safety, so I'm familiar. I ain't familiar to, to that extent, but I'm familiar with how the law works. I have to be. I got to understand what I can do and what somebody else can do or can't do, et cetera, et cetera. So, y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy, man. But anyway, let's continue to see what comes out of the Cassie camp as it relates to Diddy getting off on the 2 big charges.
The defense simply saw it differently, as something that went on in a personal, consensual relationship, not sex trafficking. And that's how the outcome is reflected now, Kira.
Bernardo, I want to go on to read another part of that statement on behalf of Cassie Ventura's attorney, saying she displayed unquestionable strength and brought attention to the realities of powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that has persisted for decades without repercussion. This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors. 2 things that stood out to me: powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that persists, and change that is long overdue. Your thoughts?
Power and money. You can buy yourself out of a conviction. Let's be honest that if Sean Combs wasn't able to get the team that he got and pay for that defense team and experts and investigators to help defend himself, that we would have had a different outcome today. But money and power, that you can still get away with crimes if you have money and power. But I have to say, I was in the courtroom for Cassie's testimony, and she was a strong, strong witness. You can tell that the courage that she had, the strength that she exhibited. I mean, when she spoke and when she would cry from time to time, when she revisited those freak-offs and when she revisited those times where Sean Combs brutally beat her, and to see her in court sitting down, showing the strength and courage that she was able to overcome this. I think one of the most strongest moments that brought people to tears is when she said at some point that she went home and she told her husband, "You can do this without me," and that she wanted to cross the street and commit suicide because of what she had been through. But I'm glad that Cassie has been able to pick herself up and has been able to move on, taking it day by day, because it does show the strength that she got as a result of coming forward. That coming forward helped to bring closure to her.
Man, I tell you, this is wild, man. Hey, this whole situation is wild. So much has taken place. Man, oh man, oh man. So much has taken place so quickly. What I want to also show y'all, I want to show y'all a video here of how New Yorkers, because this took place in New York. We're going to look at a video of New Yorkers actually reacting to the verdict. And this is the verdict, obviously, when they realized that Diddy got off on the major charges. Okay, let's go.
As we wait and watch 500 Pearl Street, we expect a decision on whether Sean Diddy Combs will be able to walk out of this courthouse today, pending an opportunity for a bond package. But Sandra, as we think about Sean Diddy Combs and the global influence that he has had over decades and decades, not only leading the hip hop world, certainly on the East Coast, but you think of Ciroc Vodka, he became a big brand ambassador for, Sean John Clothing, and just all of the things as an entertainer that he brought on the global stage.
Yeah.
A lot of people have strong reactions about what happened.
And are curious one way or the other about how this trial was going to play out. Our Crystal Cranmore is in Times Square, where she is getting reaction to some of those folks who have been watching this trial today and then for the last few weeks, and then the verdict today. Crystal?
Good afternoon, Sandra and Mike. Well, Mike, you said it. Diddy is a cultural icon. I mean, from the fashion to the liquor to the music, of course, many people around the world know him. So it's only natural that we came down to Times Square and spoke to tourists, some of whom were children in the 90s. That's when, of course, we saw Diddy back then, of course, known as Puffy or Puff Daddy, really blew up. So, of course, a lot of people actually that we spoke to were surprised that he was acquitted of the most serious charges, but others not so much. Take a listen.
Let's not be surprised here. He's a celebrity, and maybe the jury was swayed that way, but we'll see how many years if he gets anything at all.
I'm really not surprised. I think it was just too split, but I think he was probably guilty. That's my opinion.
It feels like there is no protection for women. It feels like on every front, whether it's government, judicial, there is no justice for us at any turn.
I'm glad that he was found not guilty of the RICO charge. I don't think they had enough evidence to say that he actually did it. So I'm glad they actually looked at the evidence, what he was being charged for, and based it off just that.
And of course, Diddy was looking at potentially life in prison with that racketeering and sex trafficking charges. People that we spoke to, many of them saying that charge would have simply been too harsh. Hoping at this point Diddy could use his notoriety, use his platform in some form or fashion to do more good in the community. But of course, a lot of this still unfolding as we learn more and hear from more people. We'll have more on later editions of Eyewitness News. That is the very latest here in Times Square. Crystal Cranmore, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Man, I tell you. So look, that's the reaction from several New Yorkers. Again, when the charges was read that Diddy got off on the RICO charges and all of that. Man, I tell you, this is going to still be unfolding. There's more to this. There's more going on. There's going to be more coming out. And we got to see what's what. So what I want to do is I'm going to end this live stream. And I'm going to turn right back around and go live. Maybe 10 minutes right after I end this live stream. And I'm going to go right back and talk to y'all about something that's been taking place with Diddy supporters. Speaking of talking about Diddy supporters, a lot of you in the live chat have been talking about that. Diddy fans, Diddy supporters, what have you. I want to talk to y'all about something that has also taken place. Now, some of you know, a lot of y'all don't know, but I'm literally going to turn right back around and go live about that. Because this whole Diddy stuff is wild, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just straight up wild. Man, with this being said, because y'all on point with the comments. With that being said, I'm going to end this live stream. I appreciate everybody that came here. Make sure you double tap. I'm going live in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to end this live and pick right back up talking about Diddy. So stay tuned. As soon as I end this within 10 minutes, I'm going right back to show y'all something that took place as it relates to Diddy. And this is all breaking news as it relates to Diddy. So, man, I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate everybody. Make sure y'all subscribe. Yeah, Diddy said it right. Make sure y'all subscribe. Double tap the screen on your way out. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your awesome comments, man. I'm loving the comments, man. I'm loving the comments in the chat, man. Y'all got some of the best comments. My viewers, my subscribers, I got the most intelligent, most, God-fearing, you name it, subscribers out there, man. I'm just saying, y'all are awesome, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you so, so much. I'm a humble dude, okay? So I appreciate y'all. With that being said, stay tuned. I'm going live in about 10 minutes, right behind this one, so that we could talk about another breaking news Diddy situation. Appreciate y'all. Again, double tap on the way out. Please share. And again, I'll see y'all in 10 minutes. Peace and blessings to everybody here. Remember, go out, get your rest, go have fun, go do whatever you're going to do. Go out and conquer this world. Live right, do right, be right, drive safe, be safe. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't get caught up, so that we don't have to do no videos on you, that you don't get caught up in no situation. We doing reactions to you or somebody else. So y'all stay blessed, man. Y'all keep doing your thing. Faith over fear. Don't be discouraged by what's going on. Have faith. Okay. And with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next one. So I'll see y'all in 10 minutes.